Throughout my life, I have been given the opportunity to be interviewed by national and state level newspapers and websites, particularly interested in interviewing me for educational purposes or to highlight my experience of having an incarcerated parent. In my lived experience as a Southern Black woman, I think that storytelling is a true art. I think of West African traditions of oral history that griots championed and that allowed the role of griot or storyteller to be something that is deemed special in the community and society. So when approached by writers to share my story, I think of it as a true honor. And it is giving me the opportunity to preserve my narrative, not just for my ego, but for my legacy and hopefully having an impact on a reader that might have a similar lived experience to me. To share my narrative is something that places me in a position of vulnerability. There's a level of trust that I had with these people. And then when I am able to read the article, I find that I have been misrepresented. It has impacted my willingness to want to share with reporters because I'm unsure of whether or not I'm going to have to be disappointed after really bearing my soul to someone, hoping that through me sharing my narrative, other people see themselves. And so there's been an issue where I share my story and then I don't see the article. So say, for example, the article was published in August. The person who interviewed me didn't send me the article until December. And they said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot to send this to you." To feel forgotten as a person who has the experience of being a child of an incarcerated parent already excavates feelings of lack of worthiness that I might have already been carrying. So when I'm sharing my lived experience, and it is so unimportant that the author forgets to show me what they collected from me, it made me feel like I was just being interviewed for means to an end, or I was just being interviewed so that the reporter could publish this story. I would measure success through the lens of the person that I am interviewing, the narrative that I'm collecting. I would want the person to continue to play an active role in the production of the article or journal or whatever it is that I am writing. Because in my lived experience, I share very vulnerable parts of my lived experience, and then weeks or months later, I am given an edited and condensed version of what I shared. But there, for example, I have received an article where there is misinformation that is very serious. I mentioned that I am a child of someone who was formerly incarcerated. That parent was in jail, and I made that clear in my interview. When I read the article, the writer wrote that my parent was in prison. In the United States carceral system, jail and prison are two separate entities. I think that an excellent writer is someone who does research, someone that knows that they are interviewing someone with the purpose of actively listening. I think it's also okay if you feel that you can't accurately tell someone's story, what would it look like to have the person that you're interviewing write on their own behalf? Whether it's maybe sending a brief overview of the information you got from that person before you send it over to an editor to say, hey, do you think this represents you? Or if it's being bold enough to say, actually, I'm not capable of telling this story. I would like to help you restore your sense of agency. And if you feel like you're able to do it, write for yourself. I think that that would be such a powerful way to really uplift folks who are willing to share their narratives